Okay, so my little app that I'm using only lets me record a certain amount of time and then I have to stop it. So that's why I randomly took a break. But anyway, so the center here is 0, 0. So again, if I were to cover up these numbers, that looks like a circle, right? With the center here is 0 and here is 0. So let me erase this. So you need to keep in mind, what does the 25 and the 6 mean? So the 25 turns into a 5 when you square root that. The 36 turns into a 6 when you square root that. And what do these two numbers mean? It means once you graph the center. So again, let me scroll up. I'm trying to figure out the best way to work this out so that you see it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and graph my center at 0, 0. And then the 5 came out of the x part, so I'm going to go 5 along the x. 6 came from the y part of the fraction, so I'm going to go 6 on the y. And then I'm going to make my ellipse from there. Which kind of looks like a circle, but it's not. Okay, so let's talk about our information. So the vertex. Which 2 points stretched out your ellipse the most? In other words, which one of these numbers is the biggest? The 6 is the biggest. Where did you move 6? You did that on the y-axis. So where are these 2 points along the y-axis? One of them is at 0, 6. The other is at 0, negative 6. Covertices are the other 2 points. So I've already written the center. I already wrote down these 2 points. So really, excuse me, by process of elimination, I can do these 2 points. So that one is at negative 5, 0 and 5, 0. And then the last part, the foci. Back to the original equation, we're going to use these two numbers, 36 and 25, and subtract them. So 36 minus 25 equals c squared. I don't know if that is more confusing to write it like that or less confusing, but so from there, oh, this should be 25, not a 35. What is 36 minus 25? As silly as it sounds, a common mistake here is that people say that that's 9. It is not 9. It is 11 equals c squared. And then how do you get rid of the square? You can square root both sides, right? So square root this side, square root this side. That'll leave the c and get rid of the square. And then what are you left with? You're left with the square root of 11 equals c. And then what do you do with that? So your final answer is plus or minus square root of 11. That is your foci. Okay, so at this point, you should easily be able to kind of graph everything out. So what if you get something like this? Well, if you look, everything else before it has always equaled 1. So what can we divide 100 by that will give us 1? Well, 100 divided by 100, right? Okay, so you want to divide all of this good stuff by 100 also. Okay. So pretend that this line is up here. So when you think about, let me erase this so it's not as horribly confusing. Let me draw this line, and let me erase this. Okay, I like that a little better. Okay, so let's think for a second about 4 and 100. What number goes into both 4 and 100? Well, 4. 4 goes into 4 once. That leaves you with x squared. And 4 goes into 125 times. So this turns into x squared over 25. Plus, I just had an idea, guys, to make this easier. Okay. Plus, and then what goes into 25 and 100? Well, 25. 25 goes into 25 once, so that goes away. 25 goes into 100 4 times. So again, I'm left with y squared over 4. And then this all is supposed to equal 1. And of course it doesn't like that now because it's an exponent. Okay, sorry if this is confusing. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at this problem. Actually, try to graph it on your own. So what is the center? How do you move along the x? And then how do you move along the y? That's what you should be trying to figure out here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start graphing and then give you the info. So 0, 0, you move 5 along the x. You move 2 along the y, right? Because remember, you're supposed to square root both of those numbers. Yikes. And then you give me my information. So the center is at 0, 0. The vertices are the points that stretch out the most. So that's here. It's also the bigger number. The bigger number is 25. So it's my x points. So they're at 5, 0 and negative 5, 0. And then the co-vertices are the other 2 points. So this one is at 0, negative 2, and 0, 2. And then finally your foci. So again, go back to the original equation, take these two values and subtract. So what is 25 minus 4? 5 minus 4 is 21. If I get 21 equals c squared, to get rid of that, you need to square both sides. And then can you break down the square root of 21? You can't, so you just write plus or minus square root 21. That is your focus. Okay, so we're going to go through. You have 2 new problems at the top now. You have these 2 problems at the top. We're going to skip those. Let's go ahead and have you graph these. So here it says graph the circle. So let's just review that really quick. So how do you find the center? You do the opposite. So it looks like a negative 4 and a positive 1. So you treat it as positive 4, negative 1. Oops. Positive 4, negative 1 would be here. And then what does 16 mean? Square root of 16 is 4. So you're going to go up 4 in every direction. And then draw your circle. Do the same thing over here. So this looks like negative 1 and positive 2, so you switch the signs. So you're going to graph it 1, negative 2, and then square root this number, so you're going to go up a 9 in every direction. And then again, draw your circle. Oops. Whoa. I'll do that again. Okay. So I'm going to end this video and then I'll start again with this example.